human being to come and sit across me. It has been my dream. I remember when I was still at Radio 2000, I manifested literally for a whole year that I want to speak to you in your capacity as a songwriter.
Wow.
I don't think we have explored that side of you enough, because you are one of the country's best songwriters, and I think it's so appropriate that we get to explore that relationship between languages and song with Jonina in studio. He's South Africa's greatest musical storyteller. He has been writing music for decades. He's been composing and producing not only for himself but for other artists as well. And I'm not going to talk about the song that he wrote for Sibongile Khumalo, because I'm going to start crying. Okay, so we're not going to do that right now. We're not going to cry today.
No, you shouldn't make me blush.
I shouldn't make you blush. I should make you blush. I am so honored to sit across from you. The last time I saw you, I was sharing a stage with you at the Joy of Jazz when I was emceeing, and you were with a full 35-piece band of the Defense Force, and you gave us a performance that will live with us for the next 100 years if we get to live that long. But it is so beautiful to see you again and sit across from you, Mlochwa. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and greetings to all the listeners, and thank you for listening. I'm also very happy to be here. It's very fun for you to say I'm part of the ancestral moment of life.
Ancestral. Listen, you know what? And I was saying, and I was deliberate about the conversation that I want to have with you around, how we weave our own languages into the music. You have been absolutely wonderful with that. Yes. And we're going to talk about the new song that is going to be on tour very, very soon. In fact, starting from today, the song is on tour. But I want to talk about the language of music itself, and because I think you think very differently to many people around how we weave our own music, our own languages into the music. So how do you think about music? Is it the language first? Is it the melody first? What comes first for you?
Well, it comes in both ways. Sometimes I get the melody first, and then I think I just made it my core to say, if I write out, I'm just gonna go vernacular. I've wrote songs like I Precisely Knew That You'd Be Mine in English, and when it was R&B. But I still write a couple of songs in English, but my core is to know myself, pride in the person I am, and take pride in my language and ubuntu bami, and share that with the world. That's what I think would be my approach at all times.
You're also very poetic. You are so poetic, especially when you're writing isiZulu. Who taught you how to write music?
I'll give that to my father. May his soul rest in peace. I grew up in a family of musicians. My father had his own band. My mother was a backing vocalist in that band. So you can imagine, when I was born, I was always on my mother's back when they were doing rehearsals. Sometimes they take me away to their gigs while sleeping at the back. Sometimes they used to even keep me sleeping in the bass drum, which I think that's why I love the rhythm so much as well. But my father taught me music. I started with playing a little bit of drums originally, and then I started playing a bit of piano and a bit of guitar while learning to sing at the same time. And and ever since then I took it serious. I don't just write a song. I don't just write because something comes to mind. It has to resonate with me first. I had to enjoy it myself first before I share it with any other person.
That's wonderful. Okay, I'd like us to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue the musical journey with Jonina in studio, and of course the brand new release of Smali, the remake featuring Professor.
Africa World Hour with Mpositole.
Kiswahili is one of the most widely spoken languages in Africa, connecting millions of people across East, Central, and Southern Africa. What does World Kiswahili Day mean?
Swahili Language Day holds a deep meaning for us as a country, as Uganda, and all our people really recognize this. It's a day that celebrates not just a language, but a powerful symbol of our shared African identity, resilience, and aspiration for unity. Swahili is far more than just a foreign language or foreign tongue. It is our second official language. It is enshrined in the 1995 Constitution, and it's also a vital bridge that connects us to our brothers and sisters across the East African community and even the broader continent.
Africa World Hour with Mpositole. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays from 9 till 10 p.m. Central African Time. The Journal with Mmatsheko Mosito. Catch it on the Channel Africa app, SABC Plus, and on channelafrica.co.za. Weekdays from 9 till 12 p.m. Central African Time.
21 minutes into 10 a.m. in Central African Time. Welcome back to the show. If you caught the first segment, you'll know that I've got the iconic legend himself, Joe Nina, in studio with us. And we are talking to him this time in his capacity as a songwriter and tapping to how he thinks about music, how he thinks about weaving African languages into the music, you know, because there's depth and meaning in there that often can't be translated. And I want to talk to you about that because a lot of our African languages, you know, whether they're from Southern Africa or wherever else on the African continent, they carry a certain history about them, a certain type of meaning.
And they have a certain weight. You cannot just translate it and think it will be the same. No. It's got to be that language itself. You know, it's like, for instance, if you were to talk about Ikatilelezigo, if you were to say the cat is sleeping on the stove, direct translation, what? But you know, it simply means that there is no food, there is nothing in the house, that there is no coal to make fire, so to make the food for the family. So the cat can easily sleep on that stove. But if you say it in Zulu, it's more powerful. Absolutely. And I had a song called Gite Figizole Kaya. Katola manzawe.
Can I be a backing vocalist in my next life?
That's cool already. You know, like that on its own. It was not that kind of a situation at home at the time when I wrote it, but I kept on feeling a bit of space when I go visit the Kaya, you know. I've already had my own house, I already had my family, but I would go home and visit, but there would be something that is missing in the house for me. Every time I go home, I feel like there's something I need to do, but I don't know what it is. So I decided to write a song about that feeling and direct it to other families that are actually going through that kind of a situation, but now literally for them, you know, and hoping with this song, I will bring them a bit of ease in their hearts and minds, because that's what music is supposed to do for us as well. It's supposed to ease the pain we feel daily basis. It's supposed to help us go through the challenges we come across, easy than harder, you know, because sometimes the challenges can make you give up. You know? I'm sick and tired of this universe. You know, God is not there. You say all those kind of things are just out of anger because you cannot cope. But if we keep on writing good music and making sure that that good music plays, we will definitely have different kinds of communities.
You're just such a gift to humanity, and I'm interested to find out how you were able to find your voice, because you came at a time when, you know, I mean, during that time, and you had to be the cool guy, and you really were the cool guy.
Thank
you.
I appreciate it.
We can't forget that era, but you were able to still find and stick to your uniqueness and your musicality that you came from, that was really in your bloodline. How did you find that? How did you find the authentic Joe Nina in the popularity and the noise of the time of the 90s?
I'll give that to the greatest legends that I lived with in my life. Some of them were my partners. Some of them were part of the groups I formed, starting with Brarechi Kapapiri from Stimela. He was my business partner. He's the one who named my company Killer Joe Records in the first place. Wow. So living with such a legend and knowing his personality and visiting his house and mawungena nje uhlangana namanye incwadi ezinzima laphana kule file yakhe laphana, like brother, manje sithi yini le? It's an encyclopedia. I'm like, Mama, yo, dictionary, you know. And then you find, and then while on that process, I got to meet up with Bram Piliso, who was the main founder and leader of the African Jazz Pioneers, and I got to produce their album while he was still alive. So you can imagine when we were working in the studio, downtown studios for like a month, every day there'll be something I learned from him. His humbleness, his way he carry himself. He's just easy like that. And I thought, this is me, you know. And I would go to Steve Kekana, who's passed on, known as a doctor now, because he went all the way up and he was an advocate, he studied, he went through the thesis and all of that. Can't you Steve Ubanu thesis?
That's funny. That's funny.
You know, but I want to thank them all, because if it wasn't for them, I would probably be gone in this industry already, because this has been 35 years of my life. All of them, and including working with Mama Sbongile Kumalo. That was another beautiful moment of my life. The craziest moment that taught me that I don't want to be like that, it was working with Brenda Fassie.
She was next level. Hey?
My goodness. and then we get to UK, then she disappears. Now we are done in the studio for like a week or two. We've done the music production, everything is ready. We're just rocking. Every day they're just taking me to a different place, to like a tourist, to see UK, because Brenda is nowhere to be found. But the good thing about it is, when she came back, she blew those songs in less than 2-3 days. You know, she was just one take, bam, next.
One take wonder.
I'm telling you, it was beautiful.
One take wonder.
But she had too much power in her spirit, you know, so I couldn't be that kind of a person. Like, I can't be wanting to be seen. If you see me, thank you. If you don't, okay, good for you. You know, because I believe if you were meant to see me, you'll see me. So it's all of that put together that created the person that I believe I am today.
Wonderful. And it's, I think it's so beautiful that you mention all these gentlemen that have shaped who you are, because I hear them in all your music. I hear Steve Kekana, I hear Jabu Kanyile, but then I hear Nana Coyote, but then I hear Ray Chikapapire, as you mentioned. I hear all of them, and I think you carry the spirit of the generations. Absolutely. And the things that the people have gone through the various generations.
I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, yes.
In your music. No, you really are.
Thank you.
You really are. You really are.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about the remake of Sibali. Why Sibali in particular?
So, Ivan Curtis is a young man from originally Eastern Cape, I think, and he now stays at Velcom. As you know, there's this book face thing, Facebook. He touched me on that to say, Grootman, Babies are messaging me. Yeah, I get to that once in a while. So he messaged me and said, I've got this idea of this new Sibali version. Do you want to listen to it and tell me what you think? So I thought, yeah, why not? I even sent my number, said, send it on WhatsApp. When I listened immediately after like 6 bars, I get there. Okay, he was using my old recording of the vocals.
Okay.
And I liked the groove, and I thought, this is very nice. But we just got to work a bit on it. So I gave him a call immediately. When he tells me, he says he couldn't answer. He's like, Jonina is calling me. Until like a couple of hours later, when he got the strength, then he called me back. So I told him to send me the separates, because then the song was relevant until today, and it's still relevant for years to come.
It is still relevant. You know what? I want us to play the original just for a minute, and I'd love for you to stay with us, and we're going to continue the conversation, because I think it's such an important story.
Thank you.
this is what we mean when we say he weaves the language into the music. I mean, it's just so wholesome and definitely an evergreen classic coming through with a smile out daily by the one and only Joe Nina. We're going to continue the conversation and look at his collaborative work more in depth straight after our news block. Figileli Ngwati now standing by with the latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African